everyone, welcome back to Nduchanduna's channel. Today I will be talking about the case of Chu Vu in Sacramento, California. Chu and Chia Vu married in 1987. Chu worked for the Sacramento County Sheriff's Department. His wife Chia worked at the California Medical Facility, an all-male prison. Summer of 2008, Chu Vu, 44 years old at the time, suspected that his wife Chia was cheating on him because of an unfamiliar phone number that was constantly showing up on their phone bills. Chu angrily confronted his wife, and it turns out that his suspicions were right about Chia cheating on him. Chia admitted that she had been having an affair for a whole entire year. Chu went through Chia's phone and found intimate pictures of her and another man. The man's face was not taken in those pictures. Chia did not tell Chu the name of the man that she was having an affair with, but only gave Chu the first letter of his name, which is the letter S. The unfamiliar phone number that was on their phone bill was also saved in Chia's phone contact list under the name Solo. August of 2008, Chu did some research on his work computer. He used an online gathering resource to do a reverse phone number search to try to find out who is the owner of that phone number. Chu also asked Chia's co-workers for the names of all the Hmong males employees who are currently working with them. Chia's co-workers said that there are a total of 3 Hmong males working with them at their jobs with the last names Zhang, Lo, and Yang. Apparently, after seeing Chia and another male together at a 24-hour fitness parking lot, Chu called a friend that worked at the sheriff's department to run a search for a license plate. Chu claimed that the person with the license plate number tried to run him over. His friend at the sheriff's department informed Chu that the owner of that car was named Steve Lowe. Steve Lowe was 39 years old. He also worked at CMF with Chia Vu. Steve was a corrections officer. Chu went into the sheriff's department computers to gather all of the information that he could about Steve Lowe. According to Chu's supervisor, Chu had asked him for permission to use their computer. Chu had asked him for permission to use their computer record system to search for someone. His supervisor did not ask who he wanted to search for, but did tell Chu that it would be illegal to do so unless there was a valid law enforcement purpose. He also advised Chu to not do anything stupid. Chu then used the system to search 5 times. With those searches, Chu tried Steve's middle and last name together, say Lo, where he finally found Steve's home address. In September 2008, Chia filed divorce from Chu, and in October of 2008, Steve was murdered. Closer to the time of Steve's murder, Chu told his co-workers and friends at their sheriff's department that people who do bad things, eventually karma catches up with them. Chu hired his gangster brothers labeled as killer siblings. They were wanted for an unrelated murder case in Minnesota. Chu had been hyping his brothers Chong Vu, who was 29, and Gary Vu, who was 27, for a few months now for their plan. They all used prepaid cell phones and multiple bank accounts to cover up their tracks. Before Steve's murder, Chong and Gary drove around where Steve lived. They stalked him for weeks with multiple rented cars under different aliases. Chu made money transfers throughout those weeks. Money transfers ranging anywhere from $1,000 to $8,000. And on the day of the murder, he transferred $10,000. October 15 of 2008, the day of the murder, Chu made sure to work the early morning shift. He also made sure to call his ex-wife Chia multiple times that morning just to talk. By doing so, Chu made an alibi for himself. Just before 5 a.m. on that day, Steve's wife was inside of their home and Steve was in the garage about to leave for work. Steve's wife heard a lot of noise coming from the garage and she went to check. When she went to check on her husband Steve, she saw that the garage door was wide open and Steve was laying on the ground with his head leaning on their garage wall. He had been shot in the head. Terrified, Steve's wife quickly closed their garage door, afraid that whoever shot her husband might still be around. When paramedics arrived, Steve had blood coming from his nose and forehead. So much blood that it made a pool beneath his head. Steve was still breathing when paramedics arrived, but he was unresponsive. Steve Lowe was pronounced dead at the hospital. An autopsy revealed that there was gunpowder residue on Steve's body. That indicated that they had only shot Steve from several inches to a few feet away. There were rectangular abrasions to Steve's head, indicating that he was pistol whipped, and there were also defense wounds on Steve's right hand. Police had found a second bullet lodged into the garage cabinet. After Steve's murder, Chu was suspended from duty. Chu refused to be interviewed by investigators. Through Chu's work computer, investigators found that he had two brothers, Chong and Gary, from Minnesota involved in a violent gang with open warrants for murder in 2006. Fall of 2010, Chu went to trial. He pleaded not guilty, but he was convicted and sentenced to life in prison without parole. Chong and Gary Vu was convicted of first-degree murder. Both were sentenced to life in prison without parole. Gary received an additional 20 years with life sentence as enhancement. As Chu went to trial, his ex-wife Chia walked along beside him, holding his hand. Chu told the court even until that day, he still loves Chia very much as she is the mother to his kids. Chu claims that he was not the mastermind behind Steve's murder and that his brothers Chong and Gary were probably just trying to give Steve a scare because Steve disrespected their family by having an affair with Chu's wife, but things went wrong. He claimed that he tried to stop them from scaring Steve, but they did not listen to him. Here is an odd thing about this whole situation. Chu was very jealous of his wife Chia having an affair with another man while they were married, but the whole time, Chu had a mistress also, so it was just one huge mess to begin with. My opinion is that Chu and Chia both seem unhappy in their marriage. They were both cheating on each other, but maybe Chu, as a well-known Hmong man working at the sheriff's department, couldn't stand the thought of his wife cheating on him. His pride was hurt. So he thought that killing the other man would make his wife Chia come back to him. They both could have gone separate ways. I also think that it was such a tragic way for Steve's wife to find out that her husband was murdered because he was cheating on her. Having to process that your husband and the father of your kids was murdered, and having to process that your husband was murdered because he was cheating on you must have been very difficult. She must have been very sad. She must have been filled with anger. But yet at the same time, she can't even be mad at her deceased husband. Thank you for listening to today's HmongTrueMurder story. Please don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to HmongTrueMurder's channel if you'd like to hear more. Also, please don't forget to let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. And that is all I have for you today. Thank you for listening.